My name is DJ Free Leonard. I'm a native political hip-hop activist locally in the Bay Area to advocate for the release of political prisoners, including my first cousin, Leonard Peltier. I've been working for over 10 years by curating music, gathering hundreds of musicians of mainly hip-hop, but other genres as well. And we make music that educates about Leonard's case, but also the issues going on the reservations within the prison system as far as political prisoners and mass incarceration. And I put out about 5 albums and 4 EPs, a documentary and a book. And so this has just been my purpose to go out and into the community and to raise awareness with hip-hop music. Chuck always talks about looking for the 4 S's, which is sight, sound, story, and style. And that kind of embodies the complete package of a hip-hop artist. Those are some of the attributes that Chuck D looks for as he develops artists and does what he does in hip-hop, and being a legend and being one of the pioneers of political hip-hop in the 80s. Writing, performing, and then rehearsing are the 3 basics to an artist. But then the 4th and 5th step are really believing what you're doing on stage. And then the 5th step is actually bleeding, as in like just being so emotionally engaged in your performance that the audience doesn't have any discrepancy over who this artist is presenting themselves to be. It was an honor to really work with Chuck D, and I'm very appreciative of all of his staff and everyone who really just helped guide me in the right direction. I loved a lot of Bay Area artists growing up. So for me, it was everyone, from Oakland, but more of them, and some of those artists would include like Richie Rich and the Loonies, but more on a mainstream level. One of the first artists I really loved was Foxy Brown, and to this day, just her music's really, really great. Definitely Tupac is my favorite of all time. And then, so yeah, like all the West Coast artists like Snoop and, all the West Coast artists that just gave you that feeling of just, feeling like you're in LA when you're listening to them. I actually wouldn't want to antagonize the new generation, and we're trying to encourage them to keep doing. Not everyone likes it, but I think it is different, right? What is going on now is definitely different. The music, as far as music, right? The music of what people call mumble rap or whatnot, it's definitely different. So I think that's the most important thing in hip hop, is being unique and being original. Well, in my own experience, the hip hop community is maybe one of the most diverse cultures in the world, right? So as far as I started out on a street team in the Bay Area, putting up flyers and posters, and the diversity was similar to the high school that I went to, which actually, this is Skyline High School in Oakland, California. And Skyline High School is 85% black. So realistically, hip hop is a worldwide culture, and from Japan to Australia to Russia to China to anywhere in the world there's hip hop, right? So we're only seeing a limited perspective, and only limited agendas are kind of pushed on the mainstream. But as far as my own experiences, I've had, really been embraced with a lot of appreciation and love for the sacrifice that I've made to go in this direction. Other genres of music that influenced me would definitely be jazz, rock, soul music, R&B. I love reggae. A lot of people love the streaming and all the modern technology to listen to music, but I prefer really just my radio. I don't mind just shuffling through stations, and I feel like if it's on the radio, there has to be a reason why. So, my little secret as far as music's been my whole life is I've never, I specifically have always been conscious to always don't just say I don't like that song, but try to figure out why is this a song, right? So instead of being like, oh, I don't like this song, or whatever genre it is, it's like, well, what's the point of this song, or what is it about this song that made it to get to me to hearing it, right? Because if I've heard it, then there must have been some process, not just the record business, but creatively, why this song was made. First and foremost, Malik Yusef is a super producer from Chicago that was very influential early on in the careers of mainly Kanye West and Common. Malik has been influential in the behind the scenes producing of the album, so not necessarily, or not mainly the beat making, but the way the song, the vibe of the whole song. And so I met Malik at Universal. A comrade of mine, Chairman Fred, had brought me to Universal to meet Malik firsthand and to just vibe with him and to sit into a session. The only time I've ever been to like a major label, so it was definitely one of the like highlights of my life, those two experiences. And since then, Malik produced a song called No Easy Answer, which was my previous music video release. So it's gotten a really good response, and I'm just a fan too at the end of the day. What inspires me is to stay, my moral, I would call it like my moral compass. So really knowing who I am and what I've learned from all the mistakes that I've made, I feel like that's my inspiration, because then I could write really like what people will feel, is because they're like, wow, that took some time to think about. And that comes from, as hard as it is being isolated, being by myself, being someone that moves as maybe some people can move with large entourages and could afford crews and all this extravagant stuff. But for me, if I don't go do this thing on my own, then it's not going to ever happen. And so that's been my whole career. That's just kind of more my like philosophy of how I see things. But that's come from a lot of work of being sober for 4 years and not smoking and drinking. So that, but if you would have asked me this 5 years ago, I probably wouldn't have really coherently been able to articulate this. So that's a blessing in itself. Yeah.